Welcome, folks. This is 3 at 3. So if you're watching live, that means you're a subscriber. Thank you for being a subscriber. And if you're not and you're seeing this recorded, well, you can subscribe to any of our unusual option activity or UOA offerings, and then you would be watching this live. But let's dive right into today, the 18th of October, and our unusual option activity. All right, so we're starting out with LH, which is laboratory, I believe, and LH, $272 stock. They're buying $8 out of the money calls, the 280 calls. But look at that, they bought 10,700 of those calls. That's a ton. And so with Laboratory Corp of America and some pretty strong activity today, these guys are like diagnostics and clinical laboratory kind of stuff. This is a big stock, $26 billion company. They're looking for $8 between here and December. Not too impossible. We would all probably say that. Nonetheless, as you'll hear me say time and time again, I buy at the money and I sell out of the money. I do that because I'm looking for unusual option activity. Hey, Pete, I'm just doing the show live right now. Can I give you a holler? All right. My brother just filling me in on a fill. Bang, that's a good thing. All right, so laboratory, $272.91, approximately $7, $8 out of the money calls. A lot of time for it to get there. Certainly capable of doing that. The stock has come down rather dramatically from September 23rd. It was a $300 stock. Came all the way down and seemingly has bottomed here at about 271. If you draw a line across the graph, that's what I see anyway. And I'm looking for it to make a move. And I'm more than comfortable being in the calls way out there in December. But as you guys might imagine, my calls that expire December 17th, in this case, you don't have like a 270, 250 call that you can buy. So as much as I like to say I'm the guy that buys at the monies, I can't in this case. There isn't an at the money. There are $10 wide strikes here. So you have to, have a little faith if you're following this one. And for instance, right now the stock's 273.72, so it's up about $1 from when we first cited this activity. The calls that expire, those 80 calls that expire, are trading nearly $8.50 right now. So this one might not be for everybody, but like I say, it's not a huge move for it to get through to 280 and even 290 and 300, quite frankly, just came from there. Let's take a look at PDD. Why? Because PDD, Pinduoduo, is a Chinese stock that had been part of that circular firing squad that we've talked about so much. Stock is right exactly where it was when we saw this activity. 97.37, that's where it is right now. It's up 3.5% today. It's a $121 billion stock. Trades on average about 8.4 million a day over the past 90 days. Today, 3.3 million. So we're not seeing that volume surge except at this strike, the November 115s, as differs from the situation over in, for instance, let me see, just move this over here. November 19th is the expiration. Those 115 calls in Pinduoduo are pretty far out of the money, folks. I think we'd agree, $18, give or take, out of the money, that's a lot. I would rather buy something that's more at the money. And so, for instance, right now, the 100 calls are trading for $5.80. Those 115s that they were buying, that they've traded now, 5,400 of, are trading for 174. So what I'll try to do is put together a trade that I'm spending about $2 or less to simulate the same sort of upside that this particular trader is looking for. So for instance, if you were to buy the 100 calls for $5.80 and sell the 105s for $4, you would be putting on $1.80 with the potential to turn that $1.80 into $3.20. Obviously, the differential between those strikes. And you'd be spending about the same amount as was spent on these November 115s. So that's the way I like to play it. Put about the same amount of money on the table and address time decay, because these are November options. We're in the middle of November right now, so this is the accelerated depreciation area, and we'd be able to stay in the same expiration, which I think is also important. So those are the first two of today's 3 at 3. The third is CF. Now CF right now is, there we go. They're buying with the stock at 60.5. They're buying the January 65 calls. CF Industries, January 65 calls. So these expire. It's a perfect expiration January. They have the 21st. Obviously, that's as long as it can be. The 7th would be the first expiration. The 14th would be the second in January. These are regular January, which means the third Friday in January at the 65 strike. So right now, those calls, those January 65s are trading $2.70. They're approximately unchanged on the day. So with the stock at 60.45, do you want to buy the, for instance, pay $4.50 for the 60 calls and then sell an upside call like the 62.50s for $3.50 and spend $1 for something that could go to $2.50? Seems reasonable. You could even pay $4.50 and sell them at $2.60 and have $1.90 on the table and still be less than the amount that they paid for these January 65s. So those are a couple different ways to play it. January 65 calls, CF stock, and what does CF Industries do? Well, CF is involved in hydrogen and nitrogen products for clean energy, as well as fertilizer. There you have it. Now let's get to your questions. And if you have questions, I would answer them. Just send them to me on Twitter at Jon Najarian. That's at JONNAJARIAN. Let's get to them, folks. First one is about oil from Bobo, and his handle is at Bobo Meister 74, BOBOMEISTER 74. John, if you believe in higher oil for 2 to 3 years, do you think leaps are a good strategy? Some leaps I am in are January 2023. I don't think it's a bad strategy at all. I don't think higher oil, it usually doesn't just stay at a level, folks. We've all seen that oil is fairly volatile. It goes up, it comes down. The head of Saudi, Mohammed bin Salman, really did discipline a lot of the people in OPEC, as well as Mr. Putin last year when he slammed oil out in a big way and pushed it all the way down to negative pricing. I don't think they do that again, but I also don't think we sustain over 100. I think we're somewhere between 70 to 95, let's say, is what I think a range is going to be. Is that high? Yeah, it's higher than we've averaged. So I don't think your leaps are a bad idea. I think selling calls into this is a good idea. Let's see what our friend, the FIBO call, and he's at the FIBOCALL. He says, crude long-term view, the 10/5/2018 high of 76.90 with our extremely long-term overshot level 92.67, above to scale sales for long-term traders. Long-term overbought signal on a monthly chart, long-term overbought signal on a weekly, long-term overbought on a daily. Okay, so he's saying he thinks we're overbought, and I guess that means likely to pull back. He is a really good chartist. I'll leave that to you guys who are into the charts more than me, but he is a very smart guy. So pay some attention to it. Do we see a little correction? Do we trade sideways for a while? I think both are possibilities. Long term, though, I do like it. NEO, Hi, Doc. NEO seems to have reversed. I know you believed in the stock when everybody else was doubting it in the low 10s. What's your sentiment on the stock? Any UOA? Thanks. Yes, we do have unusual option activity in NEO. We just had it recently, NIO. And the stock's making a nice 5% move today. Bang. They're buying the 40 calls again. Bang. Worth watching. Certainly worth trading. This stock has been a monster. And if you pushed it out to the 29th of October, let me see what the open interest is at that. We see 33,000 of those NEO 40s trading today against an open interest of 31,000. Massive open interest. That's going to serve like a magnet, I believe. And that's why we've pulled up towards 40 right now. So sentiment, yes, positive. Extreme heavy volume on this name as well. Alex Kentrowitz, whose handle is at KANTROWITZ. Hi, I'm Tim Cook, and today I'm very excited to introduce the Apple lawnmower, which it kind of looks like they need, right? I'm guessing that's not what Mr. Cook was saying. But as they pulled out, and obviously Alex got that shot, we are looking at these products that Apple was talking about. The HomePod Mini, which is pretty much an Alexa. It plays music and all that kind of stuff, and it's a little speaker. The Apple 2 Mac Pros with all new design and an M1 and an M1 Pro chip look pretty exciting. That's the first significant redesign of the Mac in quite a while. And of course, those AirPods or AirBuds, whichever. My daughter's okay mine, so I never even get to listen with them, which is frustrating because they lose theirs, they take mine. So I don't have any right now. But anyway, maybe I'm the person that they want to sell these to then. And or maybe I'll buy the last generation, which will be cheaper. Who knows? I am a bargain shopper, folks. So that's what Apple announced today. Let's see how the stock reacted. AAPL right now with the NASDAQ pumping higher by some, 0.7%. Apple is not quite doubling up on that, but it's up 1.2% to 146.53 right now. All right, folks, I am Jon Najarian. I thank you for tuning in. Encourage you to go to marketrebellion.com/get started if you need help getting started with a little education, intermediate or advanced, or if you'd like to start with one of our subscription products. Speaking of which, if you'd like to get this live, the only way to get it live is to subscribe to one of our UOA products. So if you go to UOA Live, so marketrebellion.com/UOA Live, you can sign up for one of those many products. And if you do, you will be able to watch this live. If you don't, you will continue to get this after the market closes. Your choice. Thank you for joining me today, folks. I hope you have a great afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow on the Halftime Report. Bang.